Hey everybody, Hoosier Jedi here with another review for you, and this time I'm talking the Flash episode Cause and Excess. XS. I think I said that as excess. Okay, so honestly, for me, this has been kind of a disappointing week for the CW shows. If you watched my review of the most recent episode of Arrow, I found that episode to be pretty disappointing. Cool cameo appearance by Captain Singh, but ultimately, for a lot of reasons, that episode was disappointing. And frankly, I feel the same way about this episode. This episode basically is like Cisco and much more excess are complete idiots that take an entire episode to figure out the obvious. Like Cisco using Ralph's BS information to adopt all these different personas to try and impress Camilla. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, Cisco is a grown man who has had relationships in the past. I mean, granted, getting dumped by Gypsy, that's a pretty hard fall from the horse, and he's had a hard time getting back on. But for God's sake, I mean, he's going in there telling all these blatant lies about, like, oh, I own a thing called Ramon Industries. Well, a little Google search is going to show that as complete bullshit. So why tell her something that obvious, that is that obvious a lie? I mean, seriously. Again, Cisco is a grown man. He shouldn't be doing nonsense like this. It feels like something from like a crap sitcom. And the whole thing with Nora this episode is time and time again she cannot seem to figure out, if I just tell everyone what's going on, they can help me make sure no one dies. I mean, granted, she is changing history for her own personal benefit yet again. Yeah. I've become a lot more sympathetic in recent times to the people who in fiction go around trying to stop time travelers from altering history, because if you think about it, they're usually doing it for kind of a personal, selfish reason, like, oh, someone in my family that I loved died, so I'm going to alter the entire history of the universe, so for the sake of my own personal happiness. Now you can kind of make the case like, well, no, they're doing it to save someone's life. Well, guess what? Everybody dies, sooner or later. So what they're really doing is, I just don't want to have to deal with my life without this person in it. And so I'm willing to tamper with the very forces of the universe in order to get what I want. Which, again, if you think about it, is actually, fiddling around with the fundamental forces of the universe to make your own life better, or to not lose something that is part of your life, is kind of selfish. I mean, losing things that we love, that's part of life. It's holding on to things and refusing to let go of them when they're gone that makes so many people's lives miserable. But anyway, we see Nora screw this up time and time again, and she never seems to think of the obvious choice of, well, why don't I just like pick everybody up and take them to like Star City or Coast City or someplace thousands of miles away from Cicada, which I can do in a matter of minutes, and just have everybody chill for a couple hours, and then we're good. But this is one of those things where she can't do that, even though it's an incredibly obvious solution, because that would kill all of the drama. It's the same way that, whenever the supervillains are rampaging through Central City, they aren't gunned down by police snipers. It's the obvious solution, and what people in real life would actually do, but if you do that, there's no drama. I mean, the whole thing with the metahuman cure, that's potentially quite interesting, and it was very satisfying to see everybody at the end, hurt Cicada. But still, it just felt like a great big runaround when the solution was staring Nora in the face and her just not being willing to admit what she's doing and ask people who are qualified to help her. I don't know, this is just incredibly disappointing writing this week on the CW. Alright guys, so with that said, I'm going to call it here. As always, please comment, rate, subscribe. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at HoosierJedi. And until next time, take care and have a good one.